Okay, hi, my name is Andrew.
Hi,
And
Andrew.
my presentation is on Woodrow Wilson. But before I actually talk about Woodrow Wilson, I actually wanted to give another example that's similar. Has anyone ever heard of the story of the Phantom of the Opera?
Yes.
Does anyone know the story?
I have because I'm old. They may not.
Yeah, okay. So the Phantom of the Opera was about a boy named Eric, and he was born basically looking like a skeleton. Because of that, his mom made him wear a mask for the rest of his life while he was with her, and whenever people saw his real face, they screamed. He was just in fear of everyone. In a similar way, Woodrow Wilson was born with a condition. Does anyone know what that condition is?
Dwarfism.
Yeah, it's dyslexia. So because of that, he couldn't actually read well, and he didn't learn to read till he was 11. Kind of like how I didn't learn how to tie my shoes till I was 14, but that's different. But anyway, yeah, so the problem with that was that people didn't know that much about dyslexia at the time, and they just thought he was stupid. Now, the problem with Wilson and the Phantom of the Opera was that they were misunderstood. Has anyone ever heard of the song Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls? Yeah, okay, I don't know.
Can you sing it for us?
No, but the chorus goes, I don't want the world to know me because I don't think they'd understand. That's how some people feel like when they're misunderstood. And I can actually relate to that because when I was in the 3rd grade, I started getting bullied, and by the time I was and it kept going on to the 5th grade, my personality even varied between those years, and people just picked on me or they didn't like me for those various reasons. And because of that, I didn't smile a lot when I was in the 6th grade. That's why, like, my straight face, it always looks like I'm mad at someone. That's the reason why. And along with that, I hit puberty when I was 11. So my voice got really, really deep. So in the 6th grade, you got this short guy. He's 11 years old. He looks like he's mad at everyone with a really deep voice. And people told me I looked like I just killed somebody. And that gave me the nickname Murderous Guy. So that made me feel really bad. I felt like I was misunderstood. Now, with the Goo Goo Dolls song, Iris, the second part of the chorus actually goes, when everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. And that's really what people who are misunderstood really want. They just want people to know who they really are and what they really want. With the Phantom of the Opera, what he wanted was to be loved. His own mom really didn't even love him. And he found strong feelings when he found a girl in the opera house, and he did what he could. He taught her how to sing better. He got her career started in the opera house more, and he even went down on his knees and confessed his love to her. And some stuff happened in between, I'll get to that later. But in the end, she gave him his first kiss, which that was the first person he ever got kissed by, including his own mother. Now with Woodrow Wilson, like I said, he didn't read till he was 11. So he was an idealist. He wanted to be this politician that changed this world and made lives better for everyone. But when you're 11 years old and you can't read, that doesn't seem likely. However, his life progressed on, and as you guys all know, he eventually became a very popular politician and eventually the president. So this once illiterate person, who seemed like he had no hope for any future, ended up being the president of one of the most powerful countries in the world. Now, with me, the truth was, even though people thought I looked like a murderer, what I really wanted to be in the 6th grade was a kinder person. And that I kind of had some problems that I'll talk about eventually. But I feel like I progressed on from when I was 12 years old, and I feel like I'm a much kinder person now. So within those 3 examples, even though that they were misunderstood, eventually they got what they wanted. So even though these 3 examples were misunderstood, they did do things that can't get overlooked. Like I said, the Phantom of the Opera stuff happened between that I didn't get to, and with me, stuff happened that I'll get to. Well, with the Phantom of the Opera, what I left out, and this is probably the easiest to overlook, or I mean to not to overlook, was that he was basically a psychopath. He killed people. I said that he helped this lady's career. Well, the way he did that was he sabotaged someone else's so that she could get it. And the way he actually got the kiss was he basically kidnapped her, and he said that he would kill everyone in Paris if she didn't marry him. Yeah, so, but So he really, even though was misunderstood, he did do some things that weren't really acceptable. With Woodrow Wilson, these actually happened in the future. After he achieved his goals. He told everyone, including blacks, that if he became president, he would give everyone an equal opportunity and better lives. However, being a Southerner and a Democrat, he eventually turned on them and actually increased segregation when he was president. And he actually made the offices in Washington, D.C. segregated for the first time in a number of years. Now, as said with me, like I said, I was bullied when I was in elementary school, and by the time I was in 6th grade, I decided that I was going to fight back. So I developed a violence problem. And the problem that I had when I wanted to be kinder was that I didn't react the best when people made fun of me. And that made me have a violence problem. And when you have a violence problem and an anger problem, those two don't go hand in hand. So as a result, I have a lot of regrets of things I did when I was in the 6th grade. So my whole point is that people could look at it in one perspective from another. People could look at the Family Opera and think he just wanted to be loved. Or they could look at him as a psychopath. But the thing is that it doesn't matter. Even though he wanted to be loved, he still did things that were wrong. And what really matters isn't what one person thinks is positive or what another person thinks is negative about you. It's how you really are. The person inside your heart, what you do and what you say, the secret person of your heart. And that's what really matters. So I encourage you all to listen to what I'm saying and to examine the secret person of your heart. And think of the person you want to be. See how they line up, and if they don't line up, I encourage you also to make the changes. Not for what people might think you want, but based on what you want. Thank you.